Texas, starring Beverly McKinsey.
You saw that, huh? You show it to him, Alex?
Just now.
So you think this is one of the men you saw plotting Zadie's murder, right?
Him? Yeah. Yeah, I'd even swear it now, since I'm looking at him again. The reason I'm so sure about this one is because he never looked like he belonged at the top of the world in the first place. I mean, the way he was dressed and all.
Mm-hmm.
And it all fits, doesn't it? I mean, he worked at the hospital, and he's a native of Tangier. Came here as a student or something, the newspaper said. And that's it, right? You've got your killer. And it's a weight off my shoulders, believe me.
Oh, it is, huh?
Oh, for you too, huh? Well, it'd have to be. You've got your killer right here in the newspaper.
Now, what I've got is a corpse. And a corpse doesn't stand much of a chance of speaking for himself. So what I've really got is a fall guy. A fall guy who may or may not have had a part in killing Zadie. But he's sure not going to tell us now, is he?
Well, but who he is tells you plenty.
Oh, you're right about that. Tells me that someone's running scared. Very scared. And that's the man I want. Well, now, since your memory is cleared up so well, I guess you shared this with the feds?
Well, sure. Sure, I talked to him. Look, here we go again. I told you and Alex about this because you had such a special interest in it, you know? That's all. I thought you'd appreciate knowing that this was definitely one of the guys I saw. Now, am I going to get the third-degree treatment again?
Cool it, Clipper. Ryan's just trying to do his job.
Yeah, okay. I just get tired of being treated like a criminal, that's all. I think your nephew is some kind of frustrated district attorney. You think I killed the sheik?
Take it easy, all right?
I told you. This is the guy I saw. This guy, right here in the paper.
Who was the other man? Who was the man with the corpse? What did he look like? And since your memory is so clear now, maybe you even remember his name.
How do you expect me to know who the other assassin was?
You do manage the Top of the World Club, don't you?
Yeah. And that's all I do, too. I'm no private detective.
Then tell me, how is it you don't remember who the other man was?
I don't get you. Why should I?
Curtis, you run a private club, members only and their guests. The orderly was a guest since he's not a member, so who is he with? Which member was he with? It had to be a member for him to be there, didn't it?
I suppose so.
So test your newfound memory on that for a minute. Which member was the orderly with?
Hey, I don't know them all by sight. Besides, every foreign consulate in this town has special membership discretion.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, see, it could have been anybody. He could have even come in town specially to meet that orderly and then left the country again. Look, I know you want the guy, but it's the Fed's job to find him now, isn't it? I'm sure they'll come up with who the other guy was, if he's dumb enough to still be in Houston.
All right. Thank you, Clipper.
Sure.
Well, you've gone about as far as you can go, Ryan. If what Clipper says is true, what's your next move? Is your job in Houston done? Do you plan to go back to Tangier?
I don't believe what he's saying is true so far.
Well, I think you're reacting to Clipper's manner. Except when he's being charming to strangers, he's a walking rough edge. But he has been reliable.
Yeah. Well, in answer to your question, my job's not completed here, not yet.
Well, good. I was hoping you'd stay around for a while. I wanted to try to thank you.
Thank me? What for?
You know, for your help in getting me together with Iris.
Oh, I owed you what little help I can give. Tell me now, what happened?
Terry, Ryan and I are going to have lunch at the club. Get a hold of Stryker Bellman. See if he can join us. Huh? What happened?
Mm-hmm.
We met, we talked, we parted.
Oh, come on. That's not the end of it, is it?
Well, because of what you told me, I believe that she can forgive me for the lies.
No, not lies. Prophecies, remember?
Yeah, but that's the easy part.
So come on now. Aren't you and Iris going to be getting together again?
I don't know. I believe that she can forgive me for the words she did and does. But it's a lot harder to smooth over actions than words. It's simple. What she hasn't forgiven me for, what she may never be able to forgive me for, is that I left her there alone in Saint-Tropez.
But with time?
Oh, what, Ryan? Wait another 25 years? No. I left her alone there, and God forgive me, I think, in a way she's been alone ever since. Until that night at the opera, I was standing, talking to Victoria, living my ordinary life, and that theme, that music, I think it was a popular song. In fact, it was a popular song in 1955. I had no idea it came from an opera. I heard it, and I lost that ordinary life. It fell away, and something made me turn and look up. It was as if some force turned me, and I saw her there, radiant, perfect, above me as she always had been. And I heard my heart crying out, Iris. But I couldn't claim her then. Even later, when she came to the club, I saw her on the monitors. I looked at the love of my life, and I was afraid that she'd forgotten me. It was all so long ago. But she hadn't forgotten. She remembered. But I didn't know what those memories were, or how bitter they were. Now I wonder if that will allow us to have any future at all.
Welcome to the Iris, ma'am.
The Iris?
That's right. This ship is Mr. Wheeler's pride and joy. He had it rechristened after he bought it.
Well, it's lovely, but
Yes?
just that I feel as if this isn't the first time I've walked along this deck.
Hello, pretty lady.
You're Alex Wheeler.
Have I changed so much?
Oh, Alex. So many years. So much pain you can't even know of. How can either of us feel the same if the world isn't that way?
No one.
God allows us.
No one knows more about the world than I do. allows whatever and we're strong enough and we're brave enough to do. Look, this yacht, this place where we first met.
I know. I recognized it.
We can repeal the years. Take away those times when we were away from one another. Say it never existed. This is where we were when we loved each other so much. And down below in the cabin is that breakfast we never had. Please. Come with me, my darling. Now is our time. This time belongs to us.
Honey, will you look at these bridges? I feel divine, just like a teenager again.
Including the decibel level of a teenager, it seems.
Oh, honey, don't you know how nice it is for me to talk any way I please? Iris, do you think I'm getting my accent back? Oh, I hope so. I don't want any of my old pals thinking I'm putting on airs.
I think they'll find you to be quite your natural self, dear.
Well, you're not your natural self. Are you ready to tell all?
Why are you dressed like that? You mean to ride in the show today?
Until the horse and or I break our necks, yes. I just couldn't stand watching, so I asked my old friend Teresa Clark if I could ride for her daddy's stable. I told her I'd probably be a little rusty.
Well, don't you dare break your neck.
And don't you dare think that little Perry's gonna keep me from getting the whole truth and nothing but. Now, I see right through the way you're trying to get my mind off of that delicious love story of yours.
I should have known.
The only reason I let you get away from not telling me about it last night is that, honey, you looked as though you'd positively faint dead away if I asked you a single question more.
Well, I might very well have done just that.
Well, you've had time to rest, and now you're ready to tell me why you're sitting here brooding in my living room when you could be sailing the high seas in Alex Wheeler's yacht.
We rechristened it the Iris.
What?
And I'm not brooding.
Did you say that he named the yacht after you?
I felt so strange when I saw that.
Honey, this is just much too romantic for words. Oh, what on earth happened? He stopped your airplane, had you spirited to his yacht, he begged you to forgive him, and then he asked you to sail off the sunset with him right there and then, not just some time down the pike, but now. Girl, what are you doing here?
Rena, it is so hard to talk about, and I don't know why I have to bare my soul to you this way.
You have to. Trust me, you have to.
You know, it's not that I can't forgive his lies. Or the fact that he didn't trust me to help him make his dreams come true. The thing I find I can't forgive is that he left me. He just left me there alone.
Is that all? Honey, that happened 25 years ago, and now you know why he did it.
You were what? Lost. For such a very long time afterwards, I found that I had to make compromises with my life. Compromises I didn't want to make. My very life became a compromise.
Well, that's something I know about.
Was it a compromise for you to marry Kevin?
No. Or I didn't think so at the time.
Well, when I married Elliot Carrington, it was just that. I didn't love him. never could love him. Because I was denied the man I did love. It seems as though my whole life became a substitute for the life I really chose in my heart. A life with Alex. Rich or poor, it wouldn't have mattered.
Really? Even being poor?
You know, I really think I wouldn't have minded. Not with that kind of love. It is so horrible to look back and see that your whole life was one you didn't choose. But I had to do what was necessary, and that's what I did for myself and for my son.
For Dennis? Oh, Iris, what does that mean, honey?
Sure.
Yeah, rodeos. No, seriously.
Now,
What's this?
that hat looks right on you, young fella, as right as two horns on a bull. It's like they say. It's like with beards. Some men can wear them and some can't.
Hey, tell me, do these things really hold 10 gallons?
Well, I never gave her a test, but I bet she could hold a snootful. Hey, could I have a club soda with a slice of something or other in it? I talked to Terry on the phone. Go on, now put it on, Ryan. Get used to it.
You don't want me to keep it, do you?
Well, of course I do. Go on. What do you think, Alex?
He's a natural.
Gee, he looks like he belongs in Texas, doesn't he?
Just what I've been telling him myself.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we go sit down at the table, huh?
Okay. Another round of drinks for the gentlemen.
You two gentlemen are making me feel like some kind of a bonus baby. Willie Stryker, I can't accept this.
Oh, sure, now keep it. Wear it in good health. It's a welcome to Houston from Vicky and me.
Well, thank you.
Sure. Listen, your uncle was steering you right. This town still is packed with potential.
And at World Transport, too. Actually, I've been trying to persuade him to stay around a while. At least give it a try now that his government duties are finished in Houston.
Well, why not? I can't think of a better place in the whole world for a young fella to start himself a new career with the sky as the limit. I tell you, there's been a lot of changes around this country lately. Thank you. You know, it used to be a man had to start out in New York or Washington in order to end up anywhere. But those days are long gone. Now, we got the action right here.
Yeah, we sure do.
Mm-hmm.
And he can see that, too. But there's one thing you'll have to understand about my nephew, Stryker. He's a solid bitter ender with strong ideas about independence.
Hey, I never thought about myself that way.
Why didn't I think of this before? You know, if you're not too keen on going right to work for your uncle, I got a job that's just perfect for you. It'll call for a lot of care, a lot of attention to detail, and you'll need all the diplomatic skill you ever picked up in Washington.
What have you got in mind, Stryker?
Well, it concerns you as much as anybody. It's a problem I've been worried about, Alex. I'm not sure that I got any boys in my office with the proper amount of delicacy for this particular situation. Listen, I'll tell you what it is, Ryan. What I need is somebody to represent World Oil's interest in the Marshall bankruptcy situation. Now, I might be able to do it myself, but I got a feeling it's going to amount to a lot of time and hard work. And I don't think I'm going to be able to do more than just operate as a general overseer.
Come on, I haven't even practiced law since my first year out of school.
You can come to the hard law to me. But like I said, what I need here is a diplomat. Fact is, Alex, well, I'm sure you know this. Some of the Marshall family hold you to blame for what happened.
Yes, I know.
You didn't help their perspective by not talking to Mike that last night.
Well, I'd have liked to have been thinking straight that night. I didn't mean to snub Mike. I just got rattled when Iris walked into that party.
figured that. That's just how I thought it must have happened, but, well, like at the opera.
I tried to call Mike later, but... Oh, what's the difference?
He did call Mike, Stryker. I was there when he placed the call.
Well, by then... Oh, now, look, that's all right. But you do understand that what I need is a peacemaker to keep this situation from getting any worse.
Yes, I do.
Well, you can take as long as you want to decide.
Don't feel obligated on my part, Ryan.
It's hard not to feel what I already do feel. Well, there's no use pretending I don't want to be here with you. You can call me a loner, or what was that other thing, a bitter ender? But I do happen to be one loner that still loves his family. And I would like to help heal that rift between you and the Marshalls.
If anyone can. Heaven knows that's what I'd like to get out of this mess most of all.
Alex, you got one fine nephew here. Young fella, if you're going to be working for me, I think we ought to take the opportunity to get to know each other a little better. Are you free the rest of today?
Well, I could be. Why?
Well, I asked my daughter to go to the Houston Horse Show with me. Would you like to come along with us?
That sounds good.
Well, she's going to be riding. We'll have a chance to talk.
Well, a little more talking won't hurt. I wasn't planning on leaving town just yet.
Good, good. Are you a horseman yourself?
Well, I wasn't before now.
You are going to enjoy this. I'm going to call Rena, tell her to meet us here instead of at my office. Then I think I'm going to indulge in a little genteel arm twisting. Alec, I think I'm going to enjoy having this young fellow around. Excuse me, could I use a phone?
Now, what does Dennis have to do with you and Alex Wheeler?
Everything that affects me affects him.
Oh, honey, that sounds like wishful motherhood talking.
Yes, maybe.
Iris, I still don't know what's going on in your mind.
My mind is not your private game reserve,
Oh.
Rena. I feel like I'm being stalked.
You don't know how to tell a story. That's your problem. You're being so mysterious. All I want is to find out how I can figure out this situation and live it a little myself. Now, is that asking too much for a friend?
Yes.
It's obvious that you still love him. It's clear that you've never really loved anybody else. You said so yourself.
You know, when I saw him standing there, the light reflecting off the water around us, it was as if there had been some loop in time. The same yacht, the same face. He even used the same words to say hello.
Oh, how could you?
Telephone, Rena.
Oh, darn. Hello.
Good morning, baby.
Oh, Stryker, hi.
Listen, there's been a change of plan. Meet me at the Top of the World bar, okay?
Sure.
And you get a move on. I want to see my little girl.
Coming right up, Daddy. Now you just hang on there.
I'm going to have a drink waiting on the table for you.
I'll be right there. Bye-bye, Daddy. Stryker, I have to meet him now for the horse show. Hey, you sure you don't want to come along with us? Okay, you're off the hook now, but we are definitely going to talk about this later on.
You can tell me all about the horses.
Mm-hmm. Honey, you're going to finish your story. There's a piece missing, and I have got to find out what it is. Yoo-hoo!
Can you feed 5 hungry ranch hands?
Oh, welcome
Welcome. Oh, I reckon I could handle that as soon as I get my breath back. Kate Marshall, I don't believe you have been in Houston more than 2 times in the last 20 years.
Well, I thought maybe I'd better come see for myself what all the fuss is about. You know, not much has changed. It's just more of the same. Piling one freeway on top of another. Scattering housing tracks the way you throw out chicken feed. Same old town.
You haven't changed much either. But I'm real glad you came to see my place.
It's nice, Maggie. You know, it really is.
Well, I think I see my favorite boyfriend over here. And I bet I know what you like best. You like a little extra sour cream on your empanada, don't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Kate, I hear you are going to show the Marshall horses today. I guess this means you're really putting the ranch back in working order.
Yep, and it's high time, too.
If Grandma had her way, the ranch would have been a paying proposition all along, with the Marshalls breaking their backs to make sure it worked. Right, Grandma?
You know, you can get as much speed and kick from a horse as you can from an infernal combustion engine. Toys.
Well, you're right about the getting kicked part.
I'm with Kate, Justin. I think the ranch deserves a lot better than that.
It's great on the ranch. It's the best place in the world to live.
That's right, boy, it is.
Are you his coach?
He doesn't need one, Justin. He was born to that life.
Well, that's not enough for some people.
I'm a marshal, Grandma. I'm not likely to forget that again.
Nita, everybody, I want you to meet Nita Wright. She's my right arm. Now, Nita, this is Kate, and Justin, and Jenny and Steve Marshall, and I think you've met my niece Elena.
Oh, gee, it's good to meet you folks. Oh, I don't know what to say. You people are like out of a fairy tale to me. I've been hearing about the Marshalls and the Deckers ever since I came to work for Maggie.
Oh, we're so glad to meet you, Nita. And we've heard lots of nice things about you from Maggie. Lots of them.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Marshall.
Well, now, Nita, I think we better get these people to a table and get them something to eat. What do you think?
Will y'all come over to this table by the window here?
Elena, honey, I wonder if I could ask you to give me a little bit of help in the kitchen. See, I've been short-handed ever since that husband of Nita's quit.
Oh, Aunt Maggie, I would love to. In fact, well, I'd like to help out here the whole summer if you could use me.
Well, I reckon it's a good idea that Max and Ricky took the horses straight over to the arena instead of joining us for lunch, because I bet that Max would go right through the ceiling if he thought you were considering spending a few weeks in Houston.
Yeah. He'd never go for it. I guess it just won't happen.
Well, honey, don't give up that quickly. Look, you are a young woman now, and you are not subject to anyone's absolute authority. And,
yeah, but he would never let me...
And I have also always had a certain way with Max. He doesn't like to argue with me.
Yeah, but Aunt Maggie, he is never gonna...
No buts about it. Now, I'll handle it. I don't see why on earth you couldn't spend a few weeks with your favorite aunt. And, it is your summer vacation.
That's true. Oh, Aunt Maggie, you'll talk to him then? I couldn't think of anything I'd rather do than spend the summer here with you. It would be so exciting. Houston.
Oh, well, honey, consider it taken care of then. When Max comes in for the little celebration, we will just talk to him about it, and I think he'll come around to our point of view. You'll see.
Court?
Bart, hi, how are you?
How am I? I'm developing half the symptoms of pre-cardiovascular malfunction, waiting to hear what your answer's going to be.
Oh, you are?
Listen for yourself. I never could stand suspense.
Yes,
you better see a doctor.
Come on, Court. Will you or won't you join me in a partnership? No fooling around.
No fooling around, sir. I have thought over your generous offer, and I have decided to accept.
Really? Oh, Courtney, that's great. That's wonderful. That's my last liberty, I promise.
Don't be silly.
Well, let's both be silly. Let's take a silliness break and celebrate our new partnership. Early dinner, champagne, maybe a show. You're gonna say no, aren't you?
I'd love to go celebrating with you, Bart, but I really can't today. I have to dig in at the hospital library and do some research. I'm sorry. Look, maybe if I finish early enough, maybe.
Courtney? Bart?
Kevin, what are you doing here?
Well, you might say I'm marking time. I thought I'd borrow a couple of medical journals just to pass the time.
I mean, what are you doing here in Houston? I thought you were going to go back to Bay City.
Oh, yes. Well, that was the original plan, but my wife had her heart set on staying for the Houston Horse Show today.
Dr. Walker.
Well, she insisted you might.
Report to consult. Dr.
Sounds like my cousin Rena. Court. I'll check you later to see if you're ready to celebrate. Kevin?
Right.
Yeah, Bart? Celebrate. Tell me, what's the occasion?
Bart and I are going to set up a general practice together.
Oh. Partnership.
Yes. Are you going to your office?
Yes.
I'll walk you.
Yeah, thank you.
We've been looking at offices along Westheimer, near downtown. We think that that's probably the best.
General practice. General practice. Well, it's a fine and very important job. I thought you'd planned to be a surgeon. What made you change your mind?
Reality. I guess that more than anything.
Isn't surgery real enough for you?
Oh, it's still what I really prefer. But I have to face the fact that my life has changed.
Yes, of course, your father's death.
Yes. Before, I never had to worry about money, and now I do. I don't have the leisure to continue my studies. I have to start earning a living.
Sit down. Well, I know that, that is a burden. But you know, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't?
I know how you feel. I really do. See, my father died when I was just a boy, and from then on it was, well, nothing but hard times. Work after school, high school that is, working in the cafeteria to get through college.
Well, how could you work and go to medical school?
Well, I'd managed to save a little money. However, I did have to manage an all-night filling station to get by.
I had no idea.
Well, you see, I did what I had to do to be what I wanted to be. And I always wanted to be a surgeon.
That must have been hard.
Yeah, you know, you do get used to work. Perhaps that's what turned me into what they call a workaholic. Or play and leisure are just words in the dictionary to me. I never really did relate to them too well.
See, I don't know if I'm made up of such stuff.
I think you are, Carter. I really do. I think you'd make a wonderful surgeon.
Do you really think so?
I always have. I would really hate to see you not go forward in your career. You know, if you pass on your surgical residence, well, the odds are you wouldn't go back to it. I think that would be a shame. A waste of talent.
Yes, well, I really appreciate your concern and your interest, but hadn't you better be going? I mean, isn't Rena waiting for you?
The horse show, to take her to the horse show. I know it's starting soon. My family never misses it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going. Her father's taking her. It's not my cup of tea. I think I'd rather read, well, a couple of dull medical journals than watch a lot of people and horses cavort about. As I just told you, I never really did learn how to play.
Maybe, that's because it's the wrong kind of play for you.
Maybe.
But, what if... What if I had a better idea?
You're right. It is different.
Pretty standard apartment complex, actually, but the pool's a lifesaver. You have noticed that it gets a trifle warm here in the afternoon?
Warm. Yeah. I understand that's because Houston is built on the edge of hell.
Oh, you're still not fond of my hometown, are you?
Well, to sum it up for you, no.
Well, you should meet my grandmother then. That's a point of view the two of you share. But you do have to admit it's a better way of spending the afternoon than locked up in a medical library reading.
Well, I like to keep up on new discoveries.
Well, as for that, nobody said that you had to read indoors, did they?
No.
Oh, it feels wonderful. Come on, jump in.
I'm diagnosing the case.
You don't have to operate on the water, Kevin. Just enjoy it. Come on.
Yeah, well, I have a confession to make.
You'd rather read the medical journals you brought along.
My confession's worse than that. I haven't been swimming since I was 12 years old.
Oh, is that all? Hey, you never forget how to swim.
Well, I wasn't particularly good at it then.
Kevin, please come into the water. And don't worry about a thing. I'm an accredited lifeguard.
You are?
Really, cross my heart.
Yeah. Hey, it's cold.
That warms up once you're in.
That's what the instructor at the Y said. It was a lie.
And the Y wasn't sitting under the hot Texas sun, was it?
That's true.
Trust me. It's wonderful. Enough procrastination.
Well, the only defense is offense, I guess. Hey! Now, it's a lovely place you have here.
I don't actually live here.
We're trespassing?
No, of course not. No. See, Bart lives here with his sister. You know Samantha. And since they're old family friends, and I live at the residence quarters at the hospital, I come here to swim. In fact, I come here so often they gave me a key.
Oh, it's okay then. Hey, I thought floating was supposed to be easy. Perhaps I have forgotten how to swim.
Well, it's not likely. But just in case, I'll be glad to give you a refresher course if you'd like.
Dr. Courtney Marshall, report to staff. Dr. Marshall. Dr. Marshall, report to staff. Dr. Marshall.
Oh, excuse me, Deidre. Have you seen Dr. Marshall? She doesn't seem to be answering her page.
Why, yes, a little while ago. She was leaving with Dr. Cook.
You mean leaving his office?
Doctor?
You know, leaving his office to go to the library.
No, Doctor, they were leaving the hospital together.
Thanks.
the governor was fit to be tied. He is standing there seeing this circle of TV and newspaper folks, and all he can think about is trying to figure out how he can slip across to the Livingston Hotel, which is where the lady was waiting for him, you see.
And to make a long story short, he took a state police helicopter from the roof of his hotel to the roof of her hotel.
She has done it again. I tell you, when Rena was a little girl, she would cut my long stories short just so she could have more time for me to tuck her into bed.
My daddy's got to go now.
No, but don't you even want to sit down and have a drink?
If I have a drink, honey, we won't have a car waiting for us. I'm parked in Tollway Alley.
Oh.
Anyway, the show's going to start very soon, and I'm supposed to be there early. So.
We're off. Have fun, Rena. Good luck on your ride.
Thank you, Alex.
Hope you enjoy yourself too, Ryan.
Thanks. Call you later.
You're going too? That's good.
Rena.
Yes? Can I do something for you?
Yes, I was wondering if you've spoken to Iris since.
Of course I have, honey. I'm Iris's confidant.
Then you know about our relationship.
Well, I know some things, yes, but I couldn't betray any confidences.
No, of course not. I was wondering if she told you why she left my yacht. Please, Rena. This is very hard for me to ask, but I have to know. Why did she turn away from me? Do you know?
No, Alex, not really.
Oh.
But I plan to find out, and I'll bet you I'll know before long.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.